Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Yes, people, I still need you. This is 100% viewer funded. There's no plan B. There's no, I'll do something else. This is it. So I do need your help to keep these damn lights on. I have a lot of new things I want to bring you so I can bring you better content. So what you got to do is take that hand, jam it all the way up your generosity, and pull something out for me. Links will be in the description box. So you may or may not have heard, former Proud Boy leader Enrique Tarrio has been sentenced to 22 years in prison for his quote-unquote role in the J6 insurrection. Dun, dun, dun. Bullshit. That was a glorified field trip. Now, I think that he should have been arrested and convicted and sentenced? Of course not. I think if anybody should have been arrested, convicted, and sentenced, it would probably be Nancy Pelosi, that liver-spotted demon, aka David Lopan. Why? Because she was given the opportunity to send more security, maybe even the National Guard, to the Capitol, and she said no. It's almost like she wanted something to happen. So Pelosi did nothing to stop it. And then what did happen? Was this the worst thing to ever happen in our country? As you hear the talking heads, the empty suits, the oatmeal for brain, sloppy Joe in the White House, Kamala Harris, other jackasses, worse than Pearl Harbor, worse than 9/11, worse than the Civil War? That's what they said. So I got to thinking, 22 years in prison for what? For something he wasn't even there for. Now, is this some RICO shit? Are they treating him like a crime boss? Because they said because he wasn't there on the day of the event. And I'll put a link to an article in the description box. He was not there. He was in Maryland because 2 days before he was arrested, he was found to have had quote unquote, high capacity magazines on him. So the judge ordered him to leave the city. So he wasn't even in D.C. on July 6th. Jericho, you mean January 6th? No. Look it up. Sloppy Joe said July 6th. Get with the program, people. You know that's a smart man. So he wasn't even there on July 6th. But because of messages that he sent, emails and text messages, they say he was the greatest organizer of the January 6th insurrection. Dun, dun, dun. So because of that, he was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Now, of course, he can appeal. I hope the sentence is reduced heavily. 22 years for what? What happened on January 6th? Well, we don't know the full story because those fuckers won't release all the security footage. But we do know that there were thousands of people there. Trump had a speech, a rally before that. He said, go to the Capitol, assemble peacefully, obey the law, fight like hell. Figuratively, he's not telling people to go there and brawl. And I saw something where it said, 140 police officers were assaulted on July 6th. 80 of them were Capitol Police. So then my publicly educated, my public school brain gets to thinking, boop, 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 boop. And I'm thinking, if Capitol Police were being assaulted, 80 of them, then why did I see footage with my ocular stems? Why did I see footage of Capitol Police letting people in? Did they not hear over the radio that 80 of their comrades were being beaten? Why would you let the crowd in who was hurting your fellow officers? That doesn't make any sense. 140 police officers were assaulted? How is that? If 140 cops were being assaulted, then why were those cops leading the Buffalo Horns dude, the QAnon shaman? Why are they leading him on a guided tour of the Capitol? while their fellow officers were getting their asses kicked. Are these officers just pieces of shit, or was this not really happening? 22 years for what? So I looked it up. What is the monetary amount? What's the price tag they put on the damage done to the Capitol building on July 6th? What was the price tag? What do you think it was? 40, 50, $100 million? You're throwing people in jail for 22 years. They must have really got in there and fucked shit up. $1.5 million. That's the price tag of the damage that was done to the Capitol building on July 6th. $1.5 million. And can you prove that it was the quote unquote Proud Boys who did all of this damage? You saw the video of a possible Fed breaking a window and the people around him say, hey, don't do that shit. There were feds in the audience. You had the chief of police at the time who did an interview with Tucker Carlson saying it was a surprise to him when he found out that the FBI had agents in the crowd. He said, I had just talked to the head of the DC FBI office a couple days before. He would have mentioned that to me. So why would the Speaker of the House not have more security there? Why would they not send the National Guard when you're expecting a possible insurrection? You're not going to do everything you can to stop a stain on our country's democracy, because it's all about the democracy. You're not going to do everything in your power to secure our security. You're not going to do everything you can to keep the Capitol building safe. You're leaving the chief of Capitol Police out of the loop. Some might call this conspiracy. Not anymore. Anything can happen. Everything's on the table. So this dude gets thrown away for 22 years for something he wasn't present for. But he's some kind of mafioso, so you put the order out, so you got to get paid, you got to get punished for it. I think that's complete and utter bullshit. How can you arrest and sentence somebody to any time who had anything to do with July 6th when nothing really happened? The only death from that day, the only person who died on that day was an Air Force veteran named Ashley Babbitt. There was no cop who had his head caved in with a fucking fire extinguisher. That was bullshit. That cop didn't even die on that day. So there were some people who went into the Capitol without permission. Those people should be punished, but it should be nothing more than a swat on their wrist. You got the president's son who can take money from China and Ukraine, lie about it, smoke crack with whores, and it's, get out of here. Get out of here. Hey, you little kid. Get out of here, Rusty. But he's not even present for it. Nothing even really happened on January 6th. Certainly wasn't an insurrection. Certainly wasn't the worst day in American history. And it certainly didn't require a committee to go over the happenings of the day. Enrique Tarrio, how can this be a white supremacist group when the leader of the fucking group is named Enrique? But this is a witch hunt. They found their witch, they punished their witch, and they're about to burn them at the stake, figuratively speaking. But it's not about punishing him. They don't care about rehabilitation. They don't care about taking away this man's freedom. What they care about is a message that it sends to the rest of us. Don't you fuck around. Don't you dare go against us. Don't you dare bite the hand that feeds you and allows you to live your life. We are in firm control. You belong to us, and you will obey us, or we will crush the resistance. We will jail your leaders. This is the modern day equivalent of putting his head on a spike outside the walls of the city, so everybody who comes into this city knows we don't fuck around in here. What do you think? I'll meet you in the comment section. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net and make sure you hit that Teespring link to get yourself some merch. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.